The Hills Have Eyes is a 2006 horror film directed by Alexandre Aja, which is a remake of 1977 horror film directed by Wes Craven. The Hills Have Eyes is known for its intense violence, suspenseful atmosphere, and terrifying portrayal of the mutant cannibals, and raises questions about the ethics of nuclear testing and its consequences. What is this story all about? How is it related to nuclear testing? Is it based on a true story? A retired police officer, Bob Carter, and his wife Ethel, who are traveling through the deserts of New Mexico from Cleveland to San Diego for their silver wedding anniversary. They are accompanied by their 3 children, Lynn, Brenda, and Bobby, Lynn's husband Doug, and their infant daughter Catherine. Along with them are the 2 German shepherds, Beauty and Beast. While they were on their journey, they stop at a petrol station where the old petrol station employee offers them another route across the hills, saying it will save them a few hours. Soon after, a hidden spike strip punctures their tires, forcing the truck and trailer to crash. After this incident, the rest of the family stays beside the caravan as Bob and Doug leave in different directions in search of assistance. Bobby chases Beauty into the hills where he discovers her mutilated corpse. He runs back to the caravan out of pure horror, but as he does, he stumbles off the hill and loses consciousness. In the meantime, Bob returns to the petrol station. Upon searching the station, he discovers newspaper clippings describing various disappearances in the region following recent nuclear tests by the U.S. government at a mining town that resulted in the deformities of the mutants. The attendant is confronted by him, and she later kills herself. Later in the movie, the mutant leader Papa Jupiter attacks Bob as he tries to flee in an abandoned car. Soon after, Doug returns after traveling towards the interstate and discovering a massive crater full of numerous abandoned automobiles and other items after Bobby is discovered by Brenda. Bobby tells Doug and Lynn his story about being pursued by Papa Jupiter, and then Pluto and Lizard break into the caravan. Before moving further in the story, did you know that to create the underground lair of the mutants, the production team dug a 200-foot-long tunnel in the Moroccan desert? The set was so convincing that some of the crew members got lost in it while filming. On the other side, Brenda, who had stayed in the caravan with Catherine, was attacked and raped while Bob was set ablaze to draw attention from the others. Lizard shoots Lynn and Ethel when they enter the caravan, kidnaps Catherine, and flees with Pluto. When Doug and Bobby return and see the destruction, they see that Lynn and Ethel have passed away. The following morning, Doug and Beast left to save Catherine. The minor town's cave system leads him to an abandoned nuclear testing village, but Big Mama knocks him out. He escapes after waking up in an icebox and runs across Big Brain, who tells him the history of the mutants. Doug is soon attacked by Pluto when he first appears, but he gains the upper hand and kills Pluto with his own axe. Then Beast mauls Big Brain to death when Big Brain commands Lizard to murder Catherine. So the movie was all about bloodshedding and finding a way to save their lives. Finally, later in the climax, Ruby succeeds in stealing the infant from Lizard and makes her getaway via the hills. Well, there is a fun fact for you. The film was initially given an NC-17 rating by the MPAA, due to its intense violence and graphic content. To secure an R rating, the filmmakers had to make several cuts and edits, which resulted in a shorter running time. Now jumping forward to the true story behind this movie. The inspiration for The Hills Have Eyes came from the real-life account of Sawney Bean, a Scottish clan leader who killed and consumed many people in the Middle Ages, as revealed by writer/director Wes Craven upon learning about the infamous Bean clan. Who was Sawney Bean? In Scotland around the 16th century, a 45-member clan that killed and consumed more than 1,000 individuals in 25 years, was allegedly led by Alexander Sawney Bean. A search team sent by King James VI allegedly tracked down Bean and his clan members in the end, and they were hanged for their horrific act. When Bean tried to learn the family trade of ditch digging and hedge trimming, he quickly realized that he was unsuited for it. So he left the house with Black Agnes Douglas, a lady who was thought to be a witch and was described as being nasty. The couple eventually found themselves at a beach cave in Benning Head between Girvan and Ballantrae after engaging in some robbery and the cannibalization of one of their victims. The couple was able to live there without being detected for about 25 years, since the cave was 200 yards deep and the entrance was closed by water during high tide. 6 daughters, 8 sons, 14 granddaughters, and 18 grandsons were born to Sawney and Agnes. The grandchildren were the offspring of their incestuous relations. The Bean clan prospered by setting up strategic ambushes at night to loot and kill individuals or small groups of people, because they lacked the motivation for daily labor. The clan took the bodies back to their cave, where they were consumed in their hole. They preserved corpse parts that occasionally washed up on local beaches together with leftover food in barrels. This tactic was employed to assist cover up their crimes and convince the locals that the tourists were being attacked by animals. The local villagers were aware of the body parts and disappearances, but the Bean Clan hid in their cave during the day and abducted their victims at night. The Bean Clan operated in secrecy to the point where the neighboring murderers were unknown to the villagers. As the disappearances came to the attention of the community, several planned searches were conducted to identify the perpetrators. The cave was discovered during a search, but the men didn't think there were any humans living there. The town's residents were frustrated and in a hasty search for justice when they hanged a number of innocent people, but the disappearances persisted. Since they were the last people to have seen many of the missing people alive, local innkeepers were frequently the target of suspicion. The Bean family ambushed a married couple who were leaving a fair on one horse one evening. The man knew how to fight, and with sword and gun he skillfully held the clan off. The wife was, however, dismounted by the Bean family, and she collapsed to the ground. The wife was killed that evening by the women in Bean's group who sliced her throat, sucked her blood, and took out her intestines. Before they could capture the tenacious spouse, a sizable gathering of fair attendees materialized on the trail, causing the Beans to flee. Visitors to the fair brought the survivor to the local magistrate, who they briefed on the incident. After the Beans' existence was finally made known, it wasn't long before the king learned of the crimes and made the decision to organize a search with a group of 400 men and a few bloodhounds. The bloodhounds swiftly located the previously undiscovered cave near Benin Head belonging to the Bean clan. The Bean clan was surrounded by human remains when the searchers arrived in the cave by torchlight. These included body parts hanging from the wall, barrels filled with limbs, and heaps of stolen jewelry and heirlooms. There are two accounts of what happened after the Bean family was found. The Bean clan was kidnapped alive, where they gave up without a fight, is the more frequent scenario of the two. As people viewed them as inferior and unfit for trials, they were taken in chains to the Tolbooth jail in Edinburgh, before being moved to Leith or Glasgow, where they were promptly executed without a trial. The hands and feet of Sawney and his fellow prisoners were severed, their genitalia were cut off, and they were let to bleed to death. As he passed away, Sawney yelled, "It isn't over, it will never be over." Another theory holds that the search team planted gunpowder at the cave opening, where the Sawney Bean family perished from asphyxia. Overall, The Hills Have Eyes is a well-crafted and effective horror movie that offers plenty of scares and thrills. While it may not be for everyone, fans of the genre will likely find it to be a satisfying and memorable viewing experience. When talking about Brutality, how much would you rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10? Do let us know in the comments section below.